So I'm saying 200 grams in gold.
2021 as new for under retail price at...
Alright, I'm saying 275.
275.
Can you remember what you paid for them?
It is in fantastic condition.
I can see that one listed with box and papers for now for about £1,000.
This was the ultimate Amiga of the day.
Certificate specifically for the diamonds in the watch.
One of the best APs I've ever seen.
I think John's exactly right, £500 each.
This was actually spotted on Roger Federer back in 2017.
Unusual blue racing dial. Two watches to value this morning, and we're going to have a little competition. So I'm saying 200 grams in gold. We're going to backtrack a little bit, Harry, because obviously straight away that the John's saying 160 grams, Jack's saying 270 grams. We shouldn't really be talking about scrap weight on a watch of this calibre. It's a brand that's really acknowledged.
It's Italian,
in
isn't
Italy. In Italy, it's a massive brand that started off in the UK in fashion stores, but it's a proper watch company. So here we go. We'll have a little bit of banter, Jack. What have you got? You've got a platinum.
Which is heaviest?
Platinum. Is it on par?
Nah, platinum's heavier.
Platinum. Day date.
Day date 40.
Probably one of the heaviest watches.
Again, one of my favourite watches are platinum. I like the Daytona, but that's still a beautiful watch. That one with the diamond dial. Alright, I'm saying 275.
275.
You said 200, did you? You cheated, you.
Yay! 200 grams. Sure.
Well, I was right with that.
Yeah, you were right.
269.
Yeah. So, the movement in this, as we can turn round and see, it's got a real heavy movement in a real heavy case.
Is that a gold rotor in that?
Yeah.
Right.
What size is
It's
that?
50 mil. It's
got to be bigger than 50 mil, that.
No,
surely.
it's 50 mil. I only know because I've had one inquiry for this identical watch.
Right.
And it was of a customer of mine about 6 or 7 years ago. He had an itch for it, and I'd said, make sure you don't pay anywhere near full retail. I couldn't find him one. I couldn't find
Found
this
him one now.
watch.
Can we get a ruler on that? I thought that was going to be like 56, 58 mil.
Hendo doesn't know what he's talking about.
I don't doubt him, but I want to
I'm doubting
see.
myself now. I'm doubting myself. I'm doubting myself. So, obviously, while Jack's getting the ruler, quick wrist roll, customer dropped that's the same customer. I've put this watch on my wrist because it's in the box for me to check. We are going to sell both of the watches for the gentleman on a consignment, appro, whatever you want to call it. The Hublot's not working. The bottom pusher is not returning. The date is sticking. So I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to wind it anymore. I've put it on my wrist to get the temperature up a little bit. You know, we talk about watches and oils. We'll try and then at the end of the day today, I'll have a look at it. It's going to need a service. It's going to need a refurb. That's one of the things I'm going to ring the gentleman. We're going to talk about this, talk about how we're going to proceed with this, and then we'll talk about getting this serviced, refurbed, and straight on the website. So, here we go. The moment of truth. Are we measuring in inches?
I think Hendo's right. I think you're wrong.
So is it from there?
No, it's from there.
No, it's from the mark. So it's there. So it's 50 mil.
It's 50
Can
mil.
I just ask?
Do you know what it is? I'm old. I'm not quite senile yet. The beard is coming in. The hair's a bit getting greyer by the day. But I remember that it's famous for being 50 mil. I've got two U-boats. One...
And a yacht.
The fashion one, I've got one in it, and they're like 47, so the same size as a Panerai. This is why this watch was famous. So the Italians made it bigger than the Panerai. A local gentleman, only lives about 3 or 4 miles away from the store, has asked me to value this, a vintage Helvetia. I think I've pronounced it right.
Want to say that again?
No. So it's come with what is a very, very pretty bracelet, and a not so nice bracelet, but good quality. The problem that I've got is that there's a valuation in the box and it's for an astronomical amount of money. So I need to speak to the guy and say, realistically, if you want to sell the watch, we need to get a realistic price. It is in fantastic condition. Again, I need to check the functions because I don't know whether it's flying back. But again, I need to have a look at it. There's quite a bit of gold in the bracelets, which that's where the value is. The watch, I think, would look fantastic on a lovely tan leather strap. So again, we'll follow that one up. This is what you get when you buy a U-boat of this caliber. A beautiful presentation case, which is lovely.
And no, I just have to ask then. I think the gentleman said he paid about 10 grand or something for that U-boat. You said it started as a fashion brand, so the steel ones, how much did they retail for?
Right, so good question. So a friend of mine used to run a little fashion store in South Shields called Northern Threads, famous round here for multitude of brands, and he used to sell them in his first shop. Right. For £330.
Wow.
The steel ones. So they came in a little metal box, very similar to what you get at TW Steel in now. It's where TW Steel evolved to. And they were in fashion stores, the likes of Flannels, Crews, little independents all over the country. So that's how they were marketed to the fashionistas type of thing. Then they decided, well, we've made a huge error here. So they took all the agencies away. So my friend was selling them off for like 150 quid. Then they came into the likes of Goldsmiths and all the multiples, Beaverbrooks. And the exact same watch was £1,150.
Right.
So 350 to 1150. So they decided, right, that's where we want to be. So the quality was always there. They just weren't recognised. And people were saying, hey, I bought one of those watches for like 200 quid, 250 quid. And they're £1,000 now. So it took a lot of years to evolve into where they are. With the modern ones, they've done some wild limited editions, camouflage dials, camouflage straps. This is like something you would get on really expensive watch brands like Graham.
Cartier, so similar to...
Yeah, Cartier Pasha, very, very similar. So it's a crown guard, but it's an attached crown guard, and it just screws and protects your winder. On a watch of this size, you need a little bit of protection.
How much is it worth?
I think this watch needs to be marketed at around about the £6,000 mark. Will it sell? It's like Marmite. You either love it or hate it.
When you look on Chrono, there's a bimetal one there for in excess of £10,000. The closest I can find to that, but there's no full gold ones.
When you say bimetal, does it have a metal strap?
It's a steel case, but it has bits of gold on it, and it actually says bimetal, but it's 11 grand on Chrono.
Right, so I need to do a little bit of research. I'm looking at the paperwork here. It's 2006.
What year's one on Chrono? 2006. It's probably been on there since 2006.
So right, watch this space. We'll see how we get on.
Two very pretty ladies' tags. That one has mother of pearl dial.
Looks like some sort of Aqua racer, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that is an Aqua racer, and that one is a Formula 1 diamond white ceramic stainless steel.
Oh, I tell you what, man, the pair of yous are good. Between the two of yous, you bang on.
There we go.
Don't really need me, then I'll just nip the loo.
I've just had them all serviced and
I'm just going to have a look at the paperwork.
Obviously, you've spent a small fortune getting them all done, which we can do at a probably a quarter or a third of what you've paid.
Probably.
And what we're going to do now, and I'm conscious of it, and John's conscious of it, is telling you what they're worth after you've spent the money on them. Yeah. Believe it or not, we would have been closer to the price if you hadn't spent the money on them. Right. They are very saleable, but obviously Tag have done our job. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to hide and let John just bid you on them.
Do you have the box and papers with this one? That's just the service box that came back with them. You'll have a proper box, or you may have done, but it should have came with a box like that. I've got all the details for now anyway, so that's the certificate specifically for the diamonds in the watch. And again, these are just service cards, so Can you remember what you paid for them?
I think roughly, I think it was about 1,500. I can't honestly, guys, I can't remember. I've had the silver one for years.
Can you remember how much you paid for this one, or?
I think that one was about 1,500, I think.
So,
I think the other one was a bit more.
so what did they do then? They just serviced the watches, they didn't polish them?
Yeah, they polished them and serviced them, that's it.
Have you wore this one since it was polished? Do you want to have a look at the polished links on there? They're just, I wouldn't have said that's been polished.
Because I paid them quite a bit, like, just polish and service them. I went in the tag shop, got them done there.
That actually looks like the two receipts for them. One of them was 1,200 and one of them was 1,600. So just for comparison, I can see that one listed with box and papers for now for about £1,000. That one probably like £100 more. They're advertised for sale second hand. So if we were buying them, that one looks fresh. That one looks like it's been polished.
Yeah, but they were both went away together.
I would say that one definitely hasn't.
I haven't done that one as well, have they?
John, is it the ceramic, the white centre links that aren't?
No, it's just the polished steel, mate. It's
I've sent them both away.
no, it's well worn. That one's well worn, so that hasn't been polished. I think if we were buying them, it would be about half that figure. That one needs polished before we can sell it. It's not like it's a little bit as well. You see the two bits, unless they forgot to do it, because one side looks half decent, but you'll definitely tell the difference. You see the metal either side there. If you compare it, that you can see what it's like when it's fresh and it's been polished. It doesn't have any scratches on. If we were buying them, we'd probably pay around £500 each. The thing with tag is they don't have the resale value of. No, not like of a Rolex where they'll hold a value or they may even go up in price. We can probably source tags for like 30-40% off the brand new prices. Yeah, so
Right.
they're lovely watches.
Yeah.
Um,
I think if you wanted us to sell them for you, what do you think?
It's only going to be £100 more. I think John's exactly right, £500 each. What I would say is if your little watch that hasn't been polished, if you find that a friend of yours or a family member wants to buy it, drop it in and I'll polish it for you for nothing. Right, because I can see you're disappointed, and we are filming, so it is a little bit of PR that will look after people. But I'll polish those centre links for you free of charge if you find somebody that wants to buy it. I think if you were asking a friend or a family member £800-900 for the watches, if they've just been done, they're under tag warranty, which is a good little thing. But we would only sell them for that. We would sell them both for less than £1,000. Good morning, here we are again. So it's officially a month today, Harry, but the beard was shaved off. So for all of the people that are conscious about my appearance and my fashion accessories, I've got...
Is that a new hoodie, Hendo?
My mum bought it for me for Christmas.
Oh, perfect.
So, well done, Jean. You're a superstar when it comes to fashion. My mum is responsible for making me the way that I am today. I am a shopper. I love fashion. I like the finer things in life. So, like I say, hopefully the beard's coming on. We are here at Watchtrader Co in Jesmond on a beautiful winter's morning, and a little section of watches that we're going to run through. The first being a customer's watch, a classic steel and gold Daytona with a twist. Unusual blue racing dial. I'm not the biggest fan of it in the steel and gold. I think it introduces too much colour, but again, give me your opinion. This watch has come in, it's a customer's, and it's for quite an extensive repair. It needed a new stem and tube because it wasn't allowing the crown to change the hands. So whilst I've done that, it's been fully serviced. Customers specifically asked for the watch not to be refurbed because it was done when he bought it second hand. A steel and gold, what's called in the modern world a bluesy. It was obviously a blue kit sub when I first started doing watches. A watch of late 80s, early 90s. So a little bit of stretch in the bracelet, but the watch has come in Part X. The watch is in what I would call good overall condition. This watch will be fully serviced. It's full set, box and papers, and it will be available in store for £9,500.
So compared to a new one, what's the difference?
Compared to a new one, obviously the new one is ceramic bezel. So again, something that people like, something that people don't like. I've got a lot of customers that have gone from either a stainless steel sub or a steel and gold sub, bought a ceramic and said, get me an old one again. So you're looking at £14,000 to £15,000 for a new blue kit. So great value for money.
How much do you think that would have been retail when it was new?
3,000. A Daytona was £3,120. So this will be just under that. Probably some of this prices stick in my head for some reason. $28.90.
Are we talking about a steel Daytona?
Steel Daytona.
So a steel Daytona might have been more than a steel and gold Submariner? Or no?
You round about the same
Around
price.
about the same.
I'm thinking $28.90 was a price of a steel and gold sub for quite a long time. So probably when this was new, around about the £3,000 mark.
You know what we'll have?
Is it ready, lad? Ready. Okay guys, so I'm going to run through some of the new arrivals we've received this week at Watchtrader. So I'll start off with the Rolex heavy hitter. This is the 126715 CHNR. This is a watch that peaked up to £50,000 in its prime about 8 to 12 months ago. And today, with the new retail price of £34,200, I can offer you this 2021 as new, perfect condition model for under retail price at £34,000, which I think compared to obviously the market the way it was about 12 months ago, it's a very good price, and it's a lot more obtainable to a wider range of customer now, because you're not spending nearly 50k on the watch. That's a totally different price point and bracket. Now you're spending close to steel ceramic Daytona money, which if you were comparing the two, I would always go for the full precious metal watch over a stainless steel watch that was obviously built on a lot of hype, because you've got the full value off obviously having a precious gold watch. So this is a Datejust 31mm. This is a steel and rose gold version with the fluted bezel, rhodium dial. It's actually got the concealed clasp. So this is the current model. This is a 2022 piece. I know February the 14th has just passed, but if you are looking to obviously get in the good books, this is available. This is 2022 box and papers, and this is 10250. And then we can move on to the gents version. This is a Datejust 41 steel and yellow gold with the fluted bezel, and you'll see it has the Wimbledon dial in. This was actually spotted on Roger Federer back in 2017 when he came out. I think it was his victory.
His eighth victory.
His eighth victory, 8th Grand Slam at Wimbledon. He came out rocking this, but it was actually a 126303. So Harry will put on the comparison. So he actually sported the smooth bezel version instead of the fluted. Both are great pieces. There is a bit of a difference in between price, because obviously this is fluted as opposed to the smooth. It's a different kind of market for the watch also. So for the smooth one that he was wearing, you're probably looking around the 10k mark, and for something like this will be going on sale for $12,950, and this is a 2022. This is the Datejust 41 full stainless steel, white gold fluted bezel. This is with the black factory diamond dial. So this is obviously the best, as I've mentioned 100 times, the best everyday watch you can get, being the Datejust 41. But obviously if you want to flex a little bit, but subtly, without being too flash and obviously having diamonds all over the watch, this is the best way. So it's quite a stealthy way to actually have something a little bit more special than a plain dial in this dial. So this is a 2021, this is with box and papers, and this will be going online for $12,250. The list price on these now is $10,350, so you're paying a slight little premium on it, but again, it's very hard to get from Rolex itself. And this is actually a watch that was up to $13,500 at its peak 8 to 12 months ago. Next up we have this is the Isoperpetual 41mm. This is a 124300 model number. This is actually Hendo's favourite modern Rolex release, as he's probably mentioned a few times in the previous videos. It's the only Isoperpetual with yellow gold hands, which makes it obviously a little bit more special. This is with the silver dial. This is a 2021 with box and papers, and we're going to be asking $7,500 for the watch. This is the 15 510 ST. This is the new 2023 model AP non-chronograph. So it's a black dial, black tapisserie dial. It's got the almost black chrome lettering on the dial. This is the main way you can obviously distinguish it between a 15500 and obviously the predecessors. This has got the open case back. The watch is unworn. It's dated January 2023. Absolutely stunning piece. This compared to a steel ceramic Daytona. Very hard choice between the two. I'm not sure if you want to let us know in the comments below what you would choose, but as a daily wearer, this is absolutely fantastic. This is stainless steel, and this is going online for mid-30s. I believe the retail price is low 20s, but obviously, as you know, with Rolex AP Patek, to get one for retail price is obviously extremely difficult. And this, I believe, might already be under offer before it hits the website. And last but not least, we have my favourite offshore. So this is a taupe 43mm offshore. Ceramic bezel with that gradient dial, which is absolutely stunning. It's sporting currently the khaki green strap. It also comes with a black rubber strap, which is easily adjustable. Obviously with the new pushers AP have released, you can take the strap off yourself. There's no tools required or screws or anything like that. This is a watch that my customer came in for about 2 to 3 weeks ago. He's seen that we had one on Instagram, but unfortunately it sold the next day. He was a day late, and I've been pretty much trying to find one the whole time since. So it's took 3 weeks to find this watch. He's going to be very happy when he has it on his wrist later on today when he collects. And he's also consigning a Hublot.
So how much did that go for?
This went for 38,500. I believe retail price is in and around that. I'll have to double check. So it is high 30s. Like most offshores and APs, the retail price is usually quite high. It's not a watch that goes for massively above, but it's not obviously a watch that goes massively below retail. It's in and around retail price. But for me, it's the best looking offshore on the market.
The luster on that dial, the way it catches the light.
It's unbelievable.
It's one of the best I've seen on an AP.
You'll have to get it closer, but it's literally one of the best APs I've ever seen. Certainly for offshore, anyway. With the strap, it just works. It's a shame I have girl wrists because I would love to wear it, but it's a little bit too big for my wrists.
Curveball from what we've been talking about. Another customer's watch. He gave me this watch to refurb just before Christmas, and refurbed the watch. I don't know whether he's been away on holiday, but it's got a little bit of water, a little bit of moisture in. This watch was marketed 25 years ago as a waterproof watch. I've never ever acknowledged that an Omega Constellation is waterproof, regardless of the marketing, regardless of the paperwork. It's like a Cartier. It says water resistant on the back. If it hasn't got a screw down crown, as in, that crown pulls straight out and clips back in. So this watch has been into the workshop. It came up waterproof, but I've replaced crown, stem and tube, which are all 18 carat. I've done bezel seals, case back seals. I've replaced everything. The watch comes up as waterproof.
Just to confirm there, are you saying the internal parts are 18 carat as well?
Yeah, the internal
like the stem
parts,
of the crown?
stem and tube are 18 carat.
Wow, that's attention to detail.
So,
you would think nobody's going to see it. Why would they do it?
This was the ultimate Omega of the day. This was the flagship.
So
this
that's
was the most
the President
expensive
Rolex Omega version.
This is, if you didn't want to buy your President Rolex, you were spending very similar money, but the residual value isn't there. It turns out, obviously, I haven't refurbed this watch. The watch needs attention to the bezel. The blacks come out of the bezel. So what I'm going to do is re-engrave it and black it, but the gentleman's sort of thinking that it might be time for an upgrade. So
what is the black? Is that enamel or?
It's, black enamel. So what you've got to do is make sure you've got enough to fill it, and then you just the same you would respray a car.
That's the thing, if you
and put
polish
in
it too much, you lose the depth, don't you?
We're going to talk about, obviously, the main watch again, and that's why that's not getting refurbed, because the bezel's already been done. Daytona bezels are notorious, and they're a very expensive item to replace. I am going to speak to the gentleman with the Omega Constellation today. We've took a couple of watches in, so you never know. The Constellation may be available for sale in a couple of weeks. So we've talked about watches there that have just come in. Now, everybody knows in store that if something's wrapped up, Hendo style, it's been refurbed. I love me little bits of kitchen roll, tissue paper, whatever I can get my hands on. So this is a watch that came in a very, very poor order. It's a friend of one of the staff. So very similar age to the Blue Kit Sub, but an 18 carat day date with a diamond bezel, diamond dot dial. There was damage to the bezel. There was a stone out, so it's been laser repaired. The stone's been put back in, and the watch has been fully serviced and fully refurbed. Not a bad, minimal wear, but in lovely, lovely condition. Don't have a watch on today, so we'll quickly slip that on my wrist. On the wrist, not much difference between a £30,000 brand new one. I would value this watch today at between £12,000 and £13,000. Maybe something that we might do a deal on. I just think it's a really good looking watch at a price point.
Agreed.
And then another one which we can have a little laugh about. It is a brand that we've done very, very well with of late, and it's a Panerai. It's a PAM 00112, so it is a manual wind lumino, so it's the entry level watch. It's not a logo, which I'm not a big fan of the logos. I've just put it on a brand new croc strap. So black dial, stainless steel, epitome of Panerai, epitome of plain, simple. Polar opposite of that watch, but horses for courses. Again, give me your opinion. Are you a day date man? Are you a Panerai man? The watchmaker said whoever this watch belonged to, and it belonged to a friend of mine, I've just took it in part exchange, it's the heaviest worn Panerai he's ever come across, and it was harder to refurb than that watch. So you know who you are out there, because I know you watch YouTube and you always tell me that you're really careful with your watches. Well, we beg to differ.